Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video provides more practice calculating critical values and shows how to construct CI estimates for population means using StatCrunch. Let's get started. So, let's look at some more practice for calculating the critical values using the t calculator in StatCrunch. So first we're asked to find t alpha over 2 for a sample size of 10 and a 95% confidence level. So go ahead and stop the video here and get into StatCrunch, get your t calculator, see what you can do with this, and then come back and we'll see how well you did. Okay, let's check this out. So here in our t-calculator in StatCrunch, here's our critical value that comes out 2.2622. Generally, when you're asked for a critical value, you're looking at just the positive value. Although keep in mind that if you're asked to find critical values, generally you're looking for both a positive and a negative one when you have a two-tailed critical value. Remember your degrees of freedom, one less than the sample size. So our sample size is 10. So we're going to put 9 into that field for degrees of freedom. And then the 95% confidence level and everything comes out. Here's the next example. Find t alpha over 2 for a sample size of 23 and a 90% confidence level. Again, stop the video, see what you can do with this, then come back and we'll see how well you did. Okay, let's see how it works. So here in our t-calculator, notice that we're always using the between option because we're looking for a two-tailed critical value and not a one-tailed. Our critical value here in this case, 1.7171. Let's look at an example problem involving mercury and sushi. So the amounts of mercury in parts per million found in 7 different supermarkets are what you see listed here. Sample mean 0.719, sample standard deviation 0.366. What is the 90% confidence interval estimate of the population mean amount of mercury in tuna sushi? So go ahead and stop the video here. Come back, and then we'll walk through to see how to get the right solution and see how you did. Okay, let's check this out. So, first we're going to go into StatCrunch, go to Stat, T-Stats, one sample with summary. We want T-Stats because the key question, do you know what the population standard deviation is? In this case, we don't. We know what the sample standard deviation is, but not the population standard deviation. So that means we want the t-distribution. So we're going to select t-stats. One sample because we just have the one sample here. With summary because we can just use the summary stats here to get our final solution. So in the options window that comes up, we're going to go ahead and select our settings. Notice we put in the mean, the standard deviation, and the size of the sample, and then a 90% confidence level under that confidence interval. Press compute, out comes our results, and the limits of our confidence interval are there at the end of that table. So it really is just that easy. Let's look again at this particular instance because the sample that they're given is actually small enough that we can just type those numbers in and then run the same calculation with data instead of with summary. So in the data, we enter the data into a blank column in StatCrunch, and then we're going to go through the menu options, only this time we're going to select with data instead of with summary. And then notice how the options window is a little different. So now we have actual data. We're going to select the column where our data is located. And we're going to continue to click that radio button for confidence interval, select the confidence level 90%, and then go hit compute. And out comes our CI limits that are right off the result window. If we compare to what we had before, notice that there's a very slight difference. Okay, so for the 1 to 3 decimal places to which most of our assignments will be asking us to round our answers off to, either procedure is yielding very similar results. Let's take a look at another problem involving the Atkins weight loss program. So in a test of weight loss programs, 40 adults used the Atkins program. After 1 year, their mean weight loss was 2.1 pounds with a standard deviation of 4.8 pounds. What then is the 90% confidence interval estimate of the mean weight loss for all people? So using these 40 adults as a sample for the much larger population of people, what's the 90% confidence interval estimate? Go ahead and stop the video here and then try this on your own. And then when you're ready, come back and we'll see how well you did. Okay, let's check this out. So we're going to use the t-distribution since we don't know what our population standard deviation is. Again, they give us a sample standard deviation for the 40 people, but we don't know what the standard deviation is for all the people in the population. So therefore, that means we're going to use this student t-distribution. So in StatCrunch, we're going to go to stat, t-stats, one sample with summary, because we don't have any actual data. All we have are summary stats. So notice we put the summary stats here, put the sample mean, sample standard deviation, sample size, click the radio button for confidence interval, put in the confidence level of 90%, and then when we hit compute, out comes our results window, and in the table in the results window there at the end, the lower and upper limits for our 90% confidence interval. It really is just that simple. Does the Atkins program appear to be effective? Well, looking at your confidence interval, what say you? Okay, remember when you're evaluating these confidence intervals, typically you're going to be looking to see if 0 is inside or outside the confidence interval. Here we have 0 inside the actually 0 is going to be outside the confidence interval. So 0 is going to be here on the left somewhere. It's not going to be between 0.82 and 3.37. So because 0 is actually outside our confidence, and it's to the left, so we're 90% certain that the mean weight loss is going to be greater than 0. Okay, so yes, the program appears to be effective because the entire CI shows positive values for weight loss. Does it appear to be practical? Well, I hope here you say that it doesn't appear to be practical. Okay, so the values here are rather small. Again, after 1 year, you're losing somewhere between 0.8 and almost 3.5 pounds. After a year, that's not very practical at all. So, if I were involved with this weight loss program, I'd like to be on the receiving end of it, meaning I'm the one receiving the cash from all the dopes who think that this is actually going to help them. Because, yeah, I'm getting a good deal out of these people, paying me for all this time for a year and only losing just a little bit. Yeah, that's a good deal if you're actually getting the money. Of course, if you're spending the money, not so much. And that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.